Again with another model final reveal video. This time it's one of the kits that I had earmarked for the D-Day buddy build that was hosted by Martin Lamont in the United States, the International British Modeler, or the IBM as we like to call them. And this kit was intended to be introduced into a diorama of HMS Belfast at sea, supporting the Normandy landings. But unfortunately, things happened, moved house, all the rest of it. It was difficult to find spaces to build ships and build kits, not just ships, or anything else that I've got on the projects at the moment. And this kit is quite a lengthy build. She's quite heavily detailed, as you can see. She is actually, in my opinion, one of Airfix's finest 1/600 scale ships. She is really, really nice. And I had a lot of fun building this kit. I do remember building this kit when I was about 14. Not long after the kit was first released, and I did find it quite challenging because the kit has 250 parts. But obviously now with the modelling techniques that I use and the ways and methods in which I put kits together and everything, it wasn't a challenge, but it was really, really good fun and very rewarding. The kit is really beautiful. She's lovely made, really nicely engineered model. She's in the colours of as she would have been in D-Day, because I wanted her to be built for the diorama for that set, obviously for the buddy build. D-Day being diorama day. With the buddy build, it was an idea Martin had, and I quite liked the idea, but unfortunately I just couldn't get this kit finished in time. And the deadline was December last year, and yeah, it's took over a year to put this kit together, believe it or not. The model itself is finished in 3 different greys, and believe it or not, that is matte 25, which is the colour you normally use for Luftwaffe undersides of their fighter aircraft and bomber aircraft from the early periods of World War II. It's matte 25 underside grey. The dark grey on the hull and superstructure is a very dark, I think it's called extra dark sea grey, and then you've got a light, it's almost like a light aircraft grey. It's actually satin colour 128, which is the light grey that forms the lighter grey part, the camo pattern. But there's a third grey on the forecastle of the ship, which is a Tamiya acrylic. Actually, it's actually Tamiya acrylic slate grey, sea grey, sorry, and it just gave a slight definition difference to the ship's forecastle to the rest of the vessel. And I wanted to make that way so that it just stood out. I'm going to try and zoom in a little bit for you to try and give you an idea of the detail of this kit. I'll just put this onto ×2, 2 seconds. That should go to ×2, it's not doing it, it should do. No, it's not doing it, doesn't want to let me do that. So I'm going to try and pan the camera in a little bit, give you an idea of the detail on this kit, because there is quite a lot of detail on this kit, which is quite interesting. The model has quite a lot of life rafts that are fitted on life raft racks, and there's a fully detailed Walrus spotter plane. The cranes on the kit, I actually fixed them in position because I didn't want them flying around, but they do move on the model. If you want to have them in the moving position on the model, it's not a problem. All these secondary anti-aircraft guns move as well, but I think the paint has actually stuck them down a little bit, which is a shame. The main gun turrets move. They don't elevate on this kit, they're not supposed to elevate, they actually are fixed into place. And the lifeboats and all of the detail in the midships is actually superb. But there is something else which is quite interesting on this kit that you don't get on a lot of other kits. If I can turn her around, hopefully I can turn her around so you can see exactly what I mean. The deck, by the way, is painted in satin buff. It's not number 7, it's not the number 7 coat colour, which they often ask you to paint the ship in. It's actually a satin buff colour, which I use for a lot of military desert colours, camo patterns. And it just sets the decks nicely, which is quite nice. If you look at the hanger just forward of the forward stack there, you can actually see a second walrus, which is actually in folded wings format inside the hanger there, and that is faithfully detailed as well. You don't get actually the front end of the aircraft in the kit, you only get like the section of the aircraft behind the cockpit canopy. The rest of it is just squared off, but from that view you wouldn't see the rest of it anyway. You can only really see the tail assembly and the tips of the biplane wings there, but it is quite nicely, and it's nicely depicted. I like the way Airfix did this, and in my opinion, I mean, yeah, there are other highly detailed ships in the 600 scale range. The ships that come to mind are HMS Repulse. The King George V is quite a nice kit as well. But HMS Belfast for me is the one that took the tops for me. It was the best, in my opinion. It's the best detailed ship that they do in 1/600 scale. I probably am going to do a little bit of extra weathering and maybe a top coat of black to the top of the stacks there, just to finish them off before this kit gets, because unfortunately a lot of my models, they usually end up getting sold to make space for new projects. If I didn't sell anything, I would have no room in my house at all. And so a lot of you will probably understand that that is the case in a lot of people's houses. But this is a really nice kit, and one which I will probably be quite sad to see go. She's a nice kit, very, very impressed with it. I did have another model of HMS Edinburgh. It was a Belfast kit, an Airfix kit, but you can build this kit as HMS Edinburgh. She's exactly the same in every way, shape or form. Even her fittings are identical to HMS Belfast. But in most cases, Edinburgh was just single grey colour, and she served in the Mediterranean for most of her service before she was sunk in the Mediterranean. So if you wanted to build an Edinburgh, you could use HMS Belfast to do that. So yeah, very impressed with the way this kit went together. I'm very impressed with the quality of the model. It's actually a very highly detailed kit. I hope this video has been of some use to you. I'll just leave you with a side image of the ship, just so you can get an idea of why I liked her so much. Let's bring the camera out a little bit. There we go. And there she is, all in her full glory. Very, very pleased with this. Very nice. So yeah, I hope your modelling projects have all gone smooth. I hope your mojos are all up to the top and you're having fun. That's the most important thing, is to have fun. I'll catch you for the next series video, and thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you for the next. Bye bye for now.